about doing voiceovers? In this video, I sit down with Laurie Burke, the original voice of Google and the creator of Virtual Voiceover. She'll break down 5 essential tips that you need to know to get started in voiceover. Ready to find your voice? Let's do this. Hi, Laurie. I'm so happy you're here with me today, and I'm thrilled that you're here to help my audience with 5 steps to get started in voiceover. What's the first step?
Okay. Hi, Heidi. Thank you. I'm happy to be here too. Well, I like to go through my talk method in one way, so I thought I'd apply the same acronym to the 5 steps that actors particularly need to go into the whole world of voiceover. So the first one would be the T, and that's tech it out, right? So you tech it out before you record. So I'm a big believer in studying and knowing exactly what your craft is, right? I mean, that's how actors, we have to know how to act, right? We basically study things, we enjoy it. So it's really important that you know your tools and your essentials so that you can record at any moment. So for example, I thought of this the other day. I was in Maui visiting my family, and I got a last minute voiceover job. Not the first time this has happened. This has happened a lot when you travel. And I have to figure out where I can record to make it sound good and presentable. I figured out where to set up a little studio, how to record it, how to make it sound presentable, and it became the final project. I just realized how important it is that I learned what the microphone was that I was using, or if I'm traveling, what microphone I can use, how to make the space quiet no matter where I am. And also a big point in this, because I've done casting, is you want your audition to sound as good as possible. You don't want them to think, oh, well, if she goes to a studio, she'll sound better, or he, or, whatever. You want to really deliver the best thing.
I love that. Knowing the tech before you even hit record, whether you're doing it at home or travel, is so important. Now we're spelling out the word talk for your talk method. So what's the A of talk?
Okay, the A is adjust your acting for the mic. Okay, so there are a lot of people that are great actors, but they can't transition into voiceover and bring what they've studied into voiceover, right, to get booked. So just like you would study Meisner or Stanislavski or whatever your method is, you also need to have a method. I believe I've always used a method to deliver voiceover and get booked. One of my favorite stories on this is that I knew a great actor, and his name is Dorian. And he came to me once and he was like, Laurie, I'm not booking voiceover and I don't know why. Now, he had a voice like James Earl Jones, and he was an amazing theatrical actor, on-camera actor. I mean, he's done everything. And I said, I don't know why you're not booking. This is just, amazing. And we just had to go over some mental blocks and kind of some things that transition from being on camera or on stage to just telling the story with your voice. Okay. And it's really important because when you learn these different methods, again, I'm really big into studying, you're reacting, right? Well, you're not reacting off of anyone. It's you, right? And you're hopefully getting directed once you get the job. But even before that, you have to audition and direct yourself before you get the job, right? So how do you do that? You need to get those skills. And I'm telling you, it was just a little tweak. And within 2 months, he booked a role on Star Wars. He does all the Star Wars stuff for one of the characters. And then he was in Soul, which is an Oscar-nominated film. And I'm not going to take credit for all this. He's a great actor, but it really was just the mindset. And he just needed a little bit of adjustment. And I find that that's so common in actors. So it just made me very, very proud. And, actor to actor, it was just a wonderful experience. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Just because you're a good actor doesn't mean you're going to have all the skills behind the mic, but you have so many. You just have to learn how to adjust it to the mic. So T is tech it out. A is adjust your acting for the mic. And what is L of talk?
Okay, L is learn to listen like a casting director. Okay, so I am a casting director. I worked on camera casting as well as voiceover casting. And I can say without a doubt that you really need to get the ear to listen like a director when you are presenting your audition. Okay, because for example, I did this. I just casted for this video game, and I produced it, and I did all these, voiceover artists, and I got a lot of demos and reads, and they think that they're reading three different ways, but they sound the same. And you really need to have some sort of way to make them sound different so that when I'm listening, I go, okay, this person can be directed, right? Because at the end of the day, it's their project who hired me, and it's their baby. And they're going to tell you, once you get hired, how to deliver that particular script. But you need to show them that you have this variety in your voice, that you're just not a one note. And I think a lot of people came up after COVID where they got into voiceover and they just didn't study or they didn't figure that out, because the demos that I heard right after COVID were like, was anybody directing it? Like, they all sound the same. Your voices all sound the same. And this is also true, especially if you want to get an agent, right? An agent wants to have somebody that they can send out for a lot of different things, not just one thing. Okay. So that's basically my big thing for, learn to listen like a casting director. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got T, we've got A, we've got L. K. What is K?
Okay. So K is know the different types of voiceover jobs and know how to book them, right? So we have heard a lot, especially as multi-creatives. I know you have a lot of multi-creatives that you're helping, and I'm one of those as well. And we're always told kind of pick a niche, pick one thing, kind of thing like that, right? I did not subscribe to that, and thank goodness I didn't, because I have been able to use all the different skills in these different types of voiceover, as well as on camera, but particularly in voiceover. So if you're a singer, for example, you might get a script and they're like, hey, we want you to sing this portion of it, and we also want you to deliver the VO as well, right? So you can study a lot of different things and use them together. Now, for me, because I was the original voice of Google, I then somehow ended up doing a lot of tech because I was also in the Bay Area. So I found out, I'm pretty good at talking about tech. I have no idea what I'm talking about. That's where the acting skills come in, because I sounded like I knew what I was talking about, right? And so that just got me into that whole genre. That being said, you want to do a whole bunch of different things. Even if you're in audiobooks, wouldn't you want to do a commercial as well? I mean, I know I like to do all these things, right? And when you keep working at it and you do what you love and you gravitate and try all these different styles of voiceover, and believe me, there's more than you know that you can get paid for. Again, I just did a trailer for an audiobook. I didn't even know that was a thing, that they made trailers. I know they make movie trailers, but I didn't know that was for audiobooks. Then your particular skill set will get you hired for something. And that's what happened when I was on Jexy, which I played a phone that went crazy. It was because I did Google Voice, had that tech kind of voice that was very, welcome to Google Voice, but then I could also use my acting skills to improv and be funny and swear. And, it was a great gig. But that was all because I had just kept on doing things that I love. And when they came to me, I took them, right? And I learned what I was really good at, which is kind of like your headshots, and what you keep getting called in for, let's say. But then you also want to stretch it and play some other things. So really know the different things that are out there and explore and have a lot of fun with it.
And be open to play, because, just think about how the world has changed in the digital world, and how I imagine that's really changed voiceover with the type of jobs that are available. And as that evolves, there's going to be even more. So being open to that and just trying new things, you're just going to have more opportunities. I imagine.
And I think it goes back to where I began with knowing your studio and your tech. People that do audiobooks, they're in the studio for a very long time. Right?
Yeah, my husband's an audiobook narrator. So
that's right. And he does it. And he's
hours some days.
very successful. And he likes that. And also it's typically, I know a lot of my students are like, they're people that really love to read. They're really into it. So that might be something that you enjoy. Now I have done those, but I'm more of like a commercial read. I like the in and out. I'm kind of like one of those quick kind of read things. And so that's, I'll take the other jobs. That's great, but that's not really where my heart and my passion is. So you kind of have to try everything. And then, you're going to succeed in the thing that you love the most to do in life in general, I believe.
Do you have any other tips for us today?
I did for number 5. I was like, yes, talks. That's the bonus one. And that is share your talent. And there's a couple, you obviously are the queen of that. You're helping so many people share. I am not as gifted as you are in the social media realm yet, but I'm trying to follow you to get your work out there. Now, I will say one thing. Make sure that you have everything, all your ducks in a row, like have your demo, have your studio set up, all this stuff before you start kind of sharing that you're a voiceover artist. And why I say that is, I mean, I know I keep telling these stories, but I'm very grateful that I got to do a lot of different things. And I want actors to really listen to this. I was on set for a commercial for a grocery store, and I was, you're mic'd up and everybody's listening to you. And two things happened on that I would like to share with anybody watching this, for especially actors. One thing is that I was speaking in it, and I said, yes, I'm a voiceover artist. I have a home studio, blah, blah. Well, all the powers that be that were in the other room, in kind of video village, heard that. And when I finished the shoot, they called my agent and said, hey, listen, we want to hire her and get her under contract. She's going to do a voiceover a week for these grocery stores. I cried when I got that, right? You have a steady gig going in, well paid for a huge grocery store. And that was because I mentioned it. And so you do have to put yourself out there a little bit and really, tell people that that's what you do, because people won't assume, because you're an actor, that you're also a voiceover artist. And another thing that I really want to tell them is, on that same shoot, I remember the director coming up to me. And this is just actor to actor kind of thing. And I said my lines. He had me do them again. And then he had me do them again. And he came up to me and he said, hold your mic. And I said, okay. And he said, you see all these people around that they flew in for this and this big and they spent all this money. And he goes, I can use any of those 3 that you just did. I just want you to know that I'm doing this to make me look good, because they paid all this money and we need to have the time and make it look. And so I want actors to know that it's not you, when you're there. And it's the same thing in a casting session. It's not always you. It's so many other factors. So please don't get discouraged. Just keep going. And I'm so grateful that he said that to me, because of course, after 3, you think, what am I doing wrong? Right? But you're not. And voiceover is the same thing. If you don't get that gig, yes, you can work on your voices, but they have in their mind what they want. They will remember you for another show. They'll remember you for another voice. They keep files. Casting always does. And we think, that voice actually would fit here. So just keep going and enjoy what you do. Really have fun with it.
I have a little bonus question for you. Can you tell us what your 5 favorite voiceover jobs have been?
Oh, man.
On her.
Yeah, I don't, can they be acting and voiceover kind of
Sure.
together? Okay. Because I have all right, so I have my, I don't think I could swear, but it's a badass board. And so, as an actor, we always have kind of like imposter syndrome, or we're not quite sure. Even though I've been doing this for 20 years, I forget. And so I wrote down like some of my achievements. So I'll just tell you a few of those. Is that
I
cool?
love it so much.
Okay. Okay. Being the original voice of Google, obviously, that is, I'm very proud of that. And that was fun. I did a voiceover for the Emmys. That was very fun. I worked with Laurie on Chance. That was awesome.
Very cool.
I worked on Jexy with Adam Devine, which was super cool, and Alexandra Shipp. Oh, and the one that I just did, which was, I got to play 2 roles in the same movie. So I got to play an on-camera FBI agent, my age, and then I got to play an 87-year-old animated old woman, and that was really fun. So cool. There's probably more. I have to look at this sometimes. I think it's really important to remind ourselves that we actually do this, and how far we've come, right? From studying to my studying at RADA on here too, to actually doing things. And so anyway, that's really kind of embarrassing, but
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Laurie, for being here today. This has been so helpful. everyone watching, the link to Laurie's YouTube channel, her socials, her website, and virtualvoiceover.com has some awesome free guides and resources to help you get started in voiceover, even more than what we covered today. I put all of those in the description below. I'm going to get the voice of Google to sign off with me on my video. I'm so excited. Do you want to sign off with me?
Yes, I do, of course.
All right. All right. We'll see you on social.
See you on social.
Bye.
Bye.